is Monday. It's Monday, 2 days after the Two Rivers Marathon on Saturday. It's absolutely freezing. I'm in Niagara Falls on the US side, walking up to the Rainbow Bridge border with Canada, going to cross into Canada and try and do a marathon. Possibly the slowest marathon ever, probably going to be quite a lot of walking involved. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're walking across the bridge. It's snowing. Only lightly, especially for Canada, only light snow, but my face is freezing. It's absolutely freezing. Off we go. The long journey begins. Just come in through the Canadian border, going to walk down to the tourist centre. I don't know what it's called. The place where all the Niagara Falls stuff is. Table Rock, something or other. Table Rock Visitor Centre, I think. That's all the way down there towards the falls. How do we get through here? Yeah, that's down there towards the falls. I'm gonna walk down there, see if it's got Wi-Fi, because I need to communicate. Let the others know how far through the journey I am at different points. Check that's got Wi-Fi. Hopefully water fountain as well to refill my water, and then probably get moving a little bit. So these are the American Falls over here, and the Bridal Veil Falls over there, the little one. So people zip wiring down. One of the problems with walking around here is that everyone wants to take pictures. But if they see you with the camera out, they think you know what you're doing. So I just got stopped by a family of tourists wanting their picture in front of that. Might harm the pace slightly. Not something you usually account for in a marathon pacing strategy, but pay it forward and everything like that. Yeah, so that's the American Falls over there, and this is the more iconic Horseshoe Canadian Falls. Mist is covering it up slightly, but we were here last night having a look as well, and it was St. Patrick's Day last night, yesterday. They lit it up at 8 o'clock, cool green, looked pretty cool. So with all the power that comes out of the river, I think there's a big hydroelectric setup over here, and I think, just judging by how calm the water is here, I'm running across some sort of reservoir for the dam. If there is that, I don't really know how it works, but that was some nice still water surrounded by the just the roar of the falls. So we're on the move now. We've done 2 and a bit miles. Strangely enough, my watch actually just buzzed for 3 miles a minute ago, but that can't be right. Because now saying 2.5. Maybe it was 3 kilometers. Yeah, we're sort of out of the main touristy part now, running south up the river, I think. It's snowing. I'm cold, but this is going to be a long day, and it's going to be sort of an art of managing body heat, because I don't want to sweat through all my clothes, because then I'll just get colder later. So trying to keep just about warm enough, not too warm, not too cold. It is properly just snowing now. So I guess this video will probably follow up the USA one pretty quickly, seeing as it's only about 48 hours since I finished that 2 Rivers marathon. We finished up there in Lacomaxon and drove on to Ithaca, had a night there, and then drove up to Niagara Falls yesterday, staying on the US side, because renting a car in the US and trying to drive through Canada all of a sudden becomes very, very expensive. So, car staying in the US side. We crossed over into Canada over the footbridge yesterday evening for some dinner and a walk around. And then this morning we got up, had breakfast in the hotel back in the US side. Which way did I go here? I guess down here. Yeah, we got up and had breakfast, and then went to the Cave of the Winds, which wasn't a cave and wasn't actually that windy or wet. It was just a spot to view the American Falls from sort of the bottom. So we got there about 10:30, finished up around 11, and then I headed back to the hotel quickly to grab my stuff. Like this morning I still wasn't sure how I would be attempting this marathon. Yeah, I thought the original plan was for Kira and her parents to kind of meet me at the Starbucks in the Canadian side, with like for them to carry this bag with a change of clothes and stuff. But you know, it's going to be heavy for them carrying it around, and they're probably going to be done with what they want to do an hour or two before I'm going to be done with the run. So I decided instead to just kind of do this on my own and meet them back in the hotel, so they don't have to sit out in the cold waiting for me. So yeah, I wasn't sure, and also the temperature and my actual physical condition 2 days after just running another marathon. I was kind of unsure if I'd actually be able to do this. Still slightly unsure. We're only 3.5 miles in. Long way to go still. Yes, I wasn't sure, you know, if I'd just go in shorts and this layer with my little camelback thing with a few gels and, you know, like a proper race setup. But then with the weather, where I don't think I'm actually going to be able to run 26 miles today, I might need to walk. I want some layers for that walking section, so that I don't get too cold then. So I just decided to bring a big rucksack with a bunch of stuff in it, which will slow me down when running but make the walking easier. I'm kind of playing for a draw, not going for the win today. But yes, I didn't start this, crossed the bridge into Canada at about midday, and it's 10 to 1 now. Yeah. Well, it is incredibly still around here now. They have controlled the river quite well. But yeah, my plan for the actual run is to run up and down this river, stopping in that visitor centre when I need to. If I want to change layers, I'll just have a break. It is lovely. The water's a proper glacial type colour. It'll be absolutely freezing to fall in, so hopefully this bridge doesn't give in anytime soon. The geese around here don't really like people, I don't think. One thing that I hadn't accounted for is the flooding of the paths. It hasn't been so bad. It hasn't been that bad so far, but almost waterlogged the shoes just now. And do not want to do that when I'm planning on wearing these for another 3 hours at least. Probably more than that. So it looks like I carry on around here. That's the trail. That's the trail that we're on, the recreational trail, which essentially follows this road. These cars are. Follows that parallel up and down the river. So my plan is, if I just follow this, keep the river in sight, don't turn off it, I can't get lost. Those words might come back to bite me, but if in doubt, just look for water. I think I'm going to run, I've just passed 5 miles, I think I'm going to run down to 6, because then that's about 4.5, 5 miles from the visitor centre. So if I turn around and get back there, it should be just a little under halfway in total, and then can go up the path in the other direction and see what that has to offer. I was sure on that tree just behind me I saw a black squirrel run up it. We saw 2 of them yesterday. The first one I thought, it could just be dirty. The second one, I thought that was a weird coincidence. With 3 of them now, they must genuinely just be black squirrels. Coming from the UK. Oh yeah, there's another one ahead of me there. You know about grey squirrels and red squirrels. I didn't know that black squirrels existed. I'll try and get a good view of this one. Just running across the ground. Yeah, I did not know that they existed at all. But yeah, the more you know. We've just got past 6 miles. This stop sign seems like an appropriate place to turn around and head back. I'm going to stick my hat back on, have something to eat quickly, and then keep going. Oh, it's going to be a long afternoon. Coming back over these bridges again. It's been a little bit colder on the return. The wind's picked up a little bit. It's cold, and there isn't really anyone, and absolutely freezing when there is. It just goes straight through you here. Yeah, we can sort of see some of the main buildings now. That's the US side. I don't know if you can see that through the fence. The US side over there, and the Canadian side over there. You can't see all the way to Toronto. That tower is just another one here that looks like the one in Toronto. Just another viewing tower to get a better look at the falls. Yeah, I'm looking forward to making it back to the visitor centre. It'll be nice and warm in there. I'll have a quick break, try and refill my water, and then head out again in the other direction. Alright. Okay, here we go again. 11 2/3 of a mile done. Heading up north now. We're just coming past halfway now. 13 miles in the bag. I am feeling it. I'm cold and exhausted. I'm really questioning why I'm doing this. But I guess that's kind of the point, to push yourself. Do something a little bit stupid and hope that it pays off. I'm running north now, up towards Niagara on the lake. Not going to make it anywhere near there, and realistically I'm not going to be able to run 26 miles today because of the exhaustion and the cold. I am really starting to struggle a little bit now, but I think I'm going to make it to about 14 and a bit, maybe 15 miles up in this direction, and then turn around, and that will bring me back to that welcome centre, visitor centre thing. Over 16 miles, so with less than 10 to go, and from there I'll kind of figure it out again. Might put on an extra layer and walk a bit. Sign on the ground there for 22k, which I think is 22k from somewhere in Niagara on the lake. So someone's done this run before. Yeah, I definitely don't have another 13 miles of running left in me. So I'll just try and keep up the pace for as long as I can, and then put some layers on and walk to round up the distance. Some beautiful houses around here. Really quiet little innocent looking town. Not sure how long I've been running exactly, but I didn't think I'd made it all the way to Asia. I have no idea what that is. That's crazy. Is that just a hotel? Or is it something more authentic? I don't know. This looks slightly more Canadian, Maple Leaf Place. The river's really flowing down there. Absolutely flying. You do not want to get stuck in that. I tell you what. I'm going to keep going. It's 15 miles. Turn around and maybe stop in here. Pick up a souvenir or something. Attractions, shops and restaurants. Maybe I'll pick up a bottle of water. Some sort of cable car or something that crosses between the two countries. Or maybe Canada to Canada actually. That might still be Canada over there. That bit might be the US there. I had no idea this was here. There's a little gift shop here as well. I'm almost at 15 miles now. So I'm just going to do a little loop around here. Start heading back. Oh, the second you stop, it just becomes absolutely freezing again. Well, I think that's probably the furthest north I'm going to make it today. It's a really weird place to be off season. It slightly reminds you around here of the sort of seaside towns in the UK. You think of something like Blackpool, something like that. Yeah. Imagine going on holidays to Blackpool in January. That's kind of the feeling that it's got around here. Because there's just absolutely nobody here. Both on the US side and the Canadian side. It's so just completely empty. Well, there's not nobody here at all, but there's so much capacity for so many more people that when there are the number of tourists that there are right now, it seems empty. And more so on the US side, just because the total number of people there is always lower than the number of people on the Canadian side. So if they're currently both at 10% capacity, the total number of people is a lot lower in the US. But sort of, for an example of how empty it is, the Cave of the Winds thing that we did this morning. It was about 10 a.m, 10:30. So we got down there. We just walked up to the ticket booth, bought a ticket, and went straight through. Then you get in a lift, an elevator, go down the height of the falls down to the bottom, and then go up from there, have a little walk around. The guy that operates the lift, we were talking to him on the way back up, and he said that 90% of the structure gets removed over winter because it will freeze over. I guess it would damage the the wood, so they remove it around October, November. He said between Halloween and Thanksgiving they start removing a lot of the wood, it's just to protect it, and then they start putting it back up around the start of April once the weather's a little bit warmer. So you know, we paid a discounted rate to see that Cave of the Winds thing in winter, but only got 10% of the product. So that was slightly disappointing. But the other thing he was saying is that, you know, we went straight down, straight up, all done in about half an hour. He said that during the height of the summer period, the queue to get in the lift to go down can get to 2 or 3 hours long, and then the same queue 2 or 3 hours to get back up. So you're looking at an all-day activity, pretty much, just to see that. Yeah, because there are 2 lifts, fit about 10 people in them each. So, you know, we didn't quite see all that we could have seen in the summer, but we did it in a tenth of the time. So, swings and roundabouts. But yeah, we're just coming up to this maple leaf place now. I'll let this car go and then cross over, see if I can get a little souvenir or a bottle of water. Hopefully it's open. I'm not sure if it will be. Okay, had a little pit stop. Just got a bottle of water. Had a quick look at the fridge magnets. And was about to buy one, but then realised that Kira will have been in gift shops today as well, and she definitely would have bought a fridge magnet, so no need for me to get one. They also had some. Well, there was quite a big shop actually there. Completely empty, as expected. Just one other guy in there looking around. Coming up to 16 miles now. You can almost start counting down in single-digit miles. It'll be quite a slow countdown, but we'll get there. That's 3 hours done now. Still 8 miles to go. 8.5 even. Probably looking like 4.5 hours. Because I'm not sure if my legs will make it 26 running. So I might be walking the last few miles. My stride length is pretty short right now. My muscles were all aching before I even started. Almost back to the visitor centre now. It's a pretty cool place to be running, really. So yeah, we've just passed 19 miles coming out of the visitor centre again. I've just left my watch running the entire time, so that it can track every single yard. And it's funny, I've got my main Garmin watch on my right, on my left wrist, and then my Apple Watch on my right wrist. And usually they track pretty much the exact same distance, but today the Garmin's tracked like 1.5 miles more than the Apple Watch so far, which is slightly odd. It must be to do with the inside stuff. Like the Apple Watch must just really struggle with GPS inside. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. I think I turned off auto pause on the Apple Watch, so it should be tracking everything. But I think I'm going off the Garmin today. I'm going to try and run another mile or so down south, turn around and run that same mile or so back. And then go into the visitor centre for I think one last time. Put on some extra layers and walk into the finish line. Alright, time to get moving. That was the first guy who had acknowledged me filming. Which, yeah, it's a weird one, like I've never really gone around with my phone out filming. It's a bit weird, even just trying to stare at the camera and talk doing this. And yeah, some people can be funny if you get them on camera, but I guess that's one challenge that I'll face through this global marathons challenge. Just trying to actually film stuff in like an appropriate and respectful way. Only 19.5 miles now. Each mile is getting longer and longer. Oh, that is windy. Ah. I am seriously exhausted now. 20 miles on the wrist. I think I'm just going to walk over this bridge and turn around and head back. Go into that visitor centre again. Chuck on an extra layer. And then, yeah, speed walk to the finish line, essentially. I don't know what I would have done today if it wasn't for that. Because I keep forgetting what it's called. It's Table Rock Visitor Centre? Table Rock Welcome Centre? Something like that. But yeah, just somewhere hot to go into for a couple of minutes, bring the body temperature back up. I think I need a coat on now, otherwise I might actually get quite ill or something. I might already be getting ill, I don't know. But I think I need to put a layer on underneath these two sweaty layers now. Oh. I absolutely hate this bridge. It feels fairly stable, but I'm just terrified that it's going to give way. I just do not want to end up in that water. Alright, time to get running again. Right, I've been walking now for about 10 minutes from the visitor centre up to the bridge again. I'm going to get down here to the bridge and just turn around and head back. Use the Wi-Fi at the visitor centre to send one more text to Kira to say 24 miles done. Heading back indirectly now. It's a beautiful day, really. Like, I'm not sure if the camera's really picking it up, but there's just little flakes of snow falling all around. As you can see, I now have many more layers on. Chucked on a thin jacket and this raincoat over the top. I'm feeling much warmer. Got thicker gloves on as well now. Yeah, feeling much warmer than I was at mile 20. That last out and back 1 mile was really quite tough. My legs are quite achy now. I don't think I'm going to be able to run anymore. I've got a 5 to 7 hour drive ahead of me tomorrow, out of Niagara Falls to Lake George, essentially the entire width of New York State. And if you take the direct route, it's 300 miles down I-90, which would be an incredibly mind-numbing experience, especially if I'm going to be slightly tired. That would be incredibly boring, and you know, I don't want to fall asleep at the wheel, so we might end up taking a slightly more scenic route if possible, maybe on I-90 for sections and then come off. I looked it up and apparently Route 20 can be quite nice in parts, and that runs parallel to I-90 for a while, so we might take some of that. Yeah, we're staying in like a log cabin type thing in the woods in Lake George, near Lake George, so hopefully that should be pretty cool. Where are we now? Up at the Bird Kingdom. Might turn around here and come back under the bridge on the other side. So yeah, my legs are aching, and if I'm going to have a long drive stuck in a car for the entire day essentially, I want them to be in somewhat of a usable state tomorrow, just to avoid locking up and cramp and all that. So yeah, by the time I get back to the visitor centre for the final time, I should only have a few miles left, which I should be able to sort of weave around this part of town here near the bridge. Yeah, I'm going to try and weave my way around this area that I'm in now, around sort of like the Clifton Hill tourist attraction, fun ferry, restaurant, bright lights type area, just to get myself up over that 26.2. Snow's going in my eyes. Yeah, I'll put you away for a little bit and then catch you again. Too, it's going to be an emotional goodbye when I'm leaving that visitor centre for the last time. It's been a good friend to me today. I wonder if any of the employees that work there have seen this sweaty guy in slightly fewer clothes than everybody else coming in like 5 times today. If they had to guess, I bet they wouldn't guess marathon was the simple explanation. Like 23.5 miles. So close, final 5k now. I was just walking back down, surprise, surprise, to the visitor centre. And saw 3 familiar figures in front. It was Kira and Michael, Ali, their parents. They've been doing some of the more normal touristy stuff today. And we're just having lunch in the cafe in the visitor centre. And now they're heading back. So I thought I was going to be way behind them, but I'm only actually about 20-30 minutes behind them now, I think. So the timeline works out pretty well. Yeah, I just checked on the fridge magnet front. They bought 2, and they also bought a shot glass for me. But I got my own one as well in here earlier. One of the coolest shot glasses I've ever seen. Well, this is definitely the best view I've had from any run so far. Absolutely ridiculous. It's sad to say goodbye to it, but I am exhausted and freezing. So it's time to come up to almost 25 miles now. This is the Clifton Hill area. That's the war memorial there. Probably for the guys that died World War II from this town. Seems like quite a lot of names. Well, I guess there would have been a lot of people living here then as well. This Starbucks just here is actually what I thought was going to be the initial meeting point after I was done with the marathon. Yeah, the 3 of them sitting outside on those chairs wouldn't have been fun in this weather. Just crossed 25 miles. Heading into the final mile now. God, am I glad to say that. So nearly there. Annoyingly, my watch, the Garmin, has been buzzing for mile notifications about 3/4 of a mile ahead consistently since like mile 2. So I just felt my wrist buzz saying 26 miles, which sadly I don't think is quite true. I have 3 different versions of distance so far. Those notifications, what the Garmin actually says on the screen the rest of the time, and then the lower Apple Watch reading, and then I'm just going to play it down the middle with the Garmin one. I might leave the Apple one running for a little bit longer so that also gets up to 26, because I've got about a mile's walk on the other side back to the hotel. That might be cheating, saying that some of it's in the US, but hopefully when it comes through on the Garmin app or on Strava, then hopefully the Garmin version is 26 miles officially there. across 26 miles. We're heading up to the bridge for the last time. And it's at this point where I remember that I don't remember exactly the specific distance of a marathon. I know it's 26.2 something, but I'm not sure what that last something is. This is the first time I've tried to do it on my own. This is the first marathon in the series that's not an official race, and it's been a different type of challenge. I'm going to let my watch run to at least 26.3, probably a little bit over. Might do one extra little loop or something here just to make sure that it is the total distance. What time we got? 4:59. This is the slowest marathon I've ever done now, actually. The first one I did, I think, was about 4.5 hours, London 2021. I got injured halfway around. My IT band went and hobbled the second half, basically, and somehow still came in quicker than I have today. There we go, 5 hours. It has been a very tough and enjoyable 5 hours. One last view of the falls. Do this quick loop back, looking at it. Yeah, it's been a weird 5 hours. I was hoping it wouldn't quite take me 5 hours. I was thinking more 4.5. But my body's just exhausted. I'm so looking forward to a nice hot bath when I get back to the hotel. Yeah, it's been a challenge. That's the whole point. And without celebrating too early, I think I have completed the challenge. 26.22? Yeah, I think we're done. So, just a couple of 100 yards. Not even that, actually. Back to the duty-free crossing. Duty-free. There's a duty-free just there outside the border crossing. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I might say a little bit more in the US on the way back. We'll see. I'm back on US soil. This Anchor Bar is where we're having dinner later today, I think. Well, that much later, actually, probably like an hour. Hotel is just up this road, a little bit further. But overall, this has been a very different marathon to the ones I've done so far. It's been a beautiful place to run. Absolutely freezing cold and testing my body quite a bit. Not on a speed or particularly endurance perspective. More just fighting exhaustion and staying alive in the cold. Yeah, we're back at the Hampton Inn now. And yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Cheers. check out some of the other marathons if you haven't already seen them, and stay tuned for the next one. I think it'll be Luxembourg. Oh no, Brighton Marathon coming up next. So yeah, I'll see you there.